In previous lecture, we had studied how the analog filter should be designed, the response of that and all that. Now we have to study the analog to digital filter transformation. The typical method includes the impulse invariance, bilinear transformation, backward difference approximation, or it is also called as approximation of derivative, and match Z transformation. Their common feature is that a stable analog filter will transform to a stable system with transfer function h of HLP of Z. Left half of S plane maps into inside of unit circle in the Z plane. See, because you know that the left half of S poles lie on left half of S plane are the stable system, and therefore they should be mapped inside the unit circle in the Z plane. Each has its pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages, and thus optimal transformation does not exist. So we have to study the different techniques. Popularly, we will going to use the impulse invariance and bilinear transformation method. See the impulse invariance method. The idea is simply to sample impulse response of the analog filter to HA of t. HA of t is analog transfer function, and we have to obtain the digital low pass filter by sampling this impulse response HA of t, and it is denoted as HLP of n. So the relation between HLP of n and HA of t is HLP of n is t into HA of nt, where n will be from the -1 to that is minus infinity to plus infinity, and t is a sampling interval. Now why there is a scaling of t, why the capital T sampling interval is needed? Because already let us see, h of t is actually the analog impulse response, and yet it has to be sampled, and that is therefore we have to use the t. So HLP of EJ omega is equal to summation of HA of j into bracket omega by t minus 2 pi k by t, and the bracket will going to be complete, k will be from minus infinity to plus infinity, where the analog and digital frequencies are related as omega is equal to ohm into t. Omega is a digital frequency and ohm is analog frequency, and in case of impulse invariance method there is a linear relationship between omega and ohm. The impulse response of the resultant IR filter is similar to that of the analog filter. Response will not going to be changed. Whatever response you will get into analog filter, the same response you will get into digital one. Now in this case, at what happens, aliasing we will get due to the overlapping of HA of j into bracket omega minus 2 pi k by t, which are not band limited. However, HA of j ohm corresponds to a low pass filter, and thus aliasing effect is negligibly small, particularly when t is chosen sufficiently small. So this particular method is generally useful to design the low pass filter with having small t, because after that the aliasing will going to be occur, and so it is not useful to design the high pass and the band stop filter, but it is generally used to design the low pass and band pass filter with a small t. So to derive the IR filter transfer function HLP of Z from H of S, we first obtain the partial fraction expansion. The H of S is equal to summation of k equal to 1 to capital N AK upon S minus Sk, where Sk are the poles on the left half of the S plane. By using the inverse Laplace transform, equation 22 can be written as HA of t equal to summation of AK e raised to Skt, k is 1 to n, where t is greater than equal to 0, because we need a causal system, and for t less than 0, the HA of t should be 0. So by substituting this equation number 23 into equation 19, we will get HLP of n, that is the impulse response for the discrete one. So summation of t into ak e raised to sk nt u of n, k is 1 to n, And so the Z transform of this HLP of n is because we need the digital filter transfer function, so we have to take the Z transform of the equation 24, and therefore by taking the Z transform of this we will get HLP of Z is equal to summation of t into ak upon 1 minus e raised to sk t into z raised to minus 1, where k is 1 to a capital N, capital N is order of filter, t is the sampling period. So comparing equation 22 and 25, it is seen that a pole of S is equal to Sk in the S plane transforms to a pole at Z is equal to e raised to Skt in the Z plane, and so Z is equal to e raised to St. So see the relation between Z and S, that is we will get from equation 26. And so we know the in Laplace S is sigma plus j ohm. So substituting the value of the S, Z is e raised to St. So S is sigma plus j ohm. So Z is e raised to sigma into t into e raised to j ohm t. So that is equal to e raised to sigma t into e raised to j ohm 2 pi k by t into t, where k is any integer, indicating that the many to one mapping. So the many poles in the S plane we will going to map one pole in the Z plane. That is the drawback of this particular method, and therefore the aliasing got occurs. Each infinite horizontal strip of width 2 pi by t maps into the entire Z plane. See the mapping, when sigma, that is real part, is 0, absolute value of Z equal to 1, that is j ohm axis. Real part 0 means the only imaginary axis j ohm, and it will going to be mapped, or it will going to be mapped in the Z plane on the unit circle. So that is the first mapping. When sigma is less than 0, that is absolute value of Z is less than 1, that is the stable system, and stable transfer function H of S produces stable the digital transfer function HLP of Z. And sigma greater than 0 maps to absolute value of Z greater than 1, that is RHS of the S plane maps into outside of the unit circle in the Z plane, which is not a stable one. So because you know that the poles lie on the RHS of this plane provides the instability of the system. So this is the mapping of the S plane into the Z plane. This has to be remembered because it is very important. See the mapping is shown in this particular diagram. How see the strip from pi by 2 to minus pi by 2. That is also map. See the many to one mapping. The j ohm axis map onto the unit circle. Then the LHS of S plane pole maps onto the inside the unit circle. That is the many to one mapping that indicates, and because of that the at higher frequencies the aliasing may got occur. So given the magnitude square response specifications of HLP of Ej omega in terms of omega p, omega s, Rp and As, the design procedure for HLP of Z based on the impulse invariance method is summarized as follows. First, select a value of sampling interval capital T. You should know capital T. If it is not known to you, assume that equal to 1 second. And then compute the passband on stopband frequencies for the analog fast filter according to ohm p equal to omega p by t. Ohm p is analog cutoff frequency, passband frequency, and ohm s is a stopband analog frequency, which is equal to omega s by t. Then design the analog butterworth filter. We had studied already how to design it. Find out the transfer function HA of S. Then perform the partial expansion, that is already we had discussed in previous PPTs, and then by using the transformation obtain the HLP of Z, that is the digital filter transfer function. See the example that will give you the idea related to that. The transfer function of analog filter has the form of H of S is equal to 2S upon S square plus 6S plus 8. Using impulse invariance method with sampling interval capital T equal to 1 to transform H of S to a digital filter transfer function H of Z. Now factorize the denominator. By factorizing the denominator, and we will perform the partial fraction. So we will get two constants minus 2 and 4. and the denominator will be factorized into s plus 2 and s plus 4. So, and we have t equal to 1. So, we will, the h of z will be equal to minus 2 upon 1 minus e raised to minus st into z raised to minus 1. So, s is equal to, obviously the pole is minus 2 and t is 1. So, it become e raised to minus 2. Similarly, 4 upon 1 minus e raised to minus 4 into z raised to minus 1. Taking LCM and solving this, you will get the h of z. See the transfer function that you will get. So this is very simple, how to convert the analog filter into the digital filter by using the impulse invariance method, by solving the partial fraction expansion and putting the z is equal to e raised to minus st. Similarly, see the example 4, which will give you the how to design the Butterworth low pass filter. They provide us the omega p, omega s, then the ripple in the pass band, the ripple in the stop band, the sampling period. As you know that the relation between the analog and digital filter is linear. So ohm p is a passband cutoff is equal to omega p by t. It is given the 0.4 pi upon 0.1, it is 4 pi, and ohm s is omega s by t. It will be 0.6 pi upon 0.1, it will going to be get 6 pi. Now we will know actually the from example 2 we had find out from this the transfer function in analog filter. That is how to find out for Butterworth low pass filter from the order n is log of lambda by s upon log of ohm s upon ohm p. The order you have to find out. Then then you have to find out the poles. Then you have to find out the transfer function, which is HA of s. So that is HA of s is 1000 upon s plus 10 in one bracket, and in second bracket s square plus 10 s plus 100. It is a third order Butterworth low pass filter. Then by using the partial fraction method, we will going to get the HA of s, and we have t equal to 0.1, and so we can get HLP of z by substituting the relation equal to t into AK divided by 1 minus st into z raised to minus 1. In this way you will get the transfer function in case of a z transform. So this is the steps to find out the first initially analog filter, and then it from by using the different mapping technique, it has to be converted into h of z. See this figure shows you the magnitude and phase response, which is by using impulse invariance technique for low pass filter. Next technique is a bilinear transformation technique. It is a conformal mapping that maps the axis j ohm of the s plane into the unit circle of the z plane only once, implying there is no aliasing problem as in the impulse invariance method. It is one-to-one mapping, and the relation between s and z is s is equal to 2 by t into 1 minus z raised to minus 1 upon 1 plus z raised to minus 1, with and z, that is nothing but equal to z equal to 1 plus st by 2 upon 1 minus st by 2. So s is equal to sigma plus j ohm. Z can be written substituting the value of s, you will get value of z. Similarly, in the previous case, how we map the j ohm axis will going to be mapped on the unit circle of the z plane. Then if the sigma is less than 0, it will going to be mapped inside the circle, and if sigma is greater than 0, it will going to be mapped outside the circle. The mapping will remain going to be same, it will not going to be changed. See the value, see here. But it is the main difference between the impulse invariance method and the bilinear transformation. Here is one-to-one mapping, not many to one. and so aliasing effect will not going to be occur. And using BLT technique you can design low pass, high pass, band pass and band stop filter. All filters you can design using bilinear transformation. That is the advantage of bilinear transformation method. See, the aliasing is awarded already, I told you. The relation between the ohm and omega, the omega is equal to 2 tan inverse ohm t by t. Here because of the tan, the non-linear relationship you will get in the axis, and therefore the you may get at high pass, the compressed high pass frequencies may compress, that is called as warping effect, that can be avoided, that we will going to see in next PPT. The procedure will going to be remain same. It will going to be design first analog pass filter, then it has to be, you have to obtain the H of Z by using the substitution technique. See, the example 5 gives you the idea how to transfer the analog filter into the digital filter by using the bilinear transformation. H of S is given to you, which is 2s upon square plus 6s plus 8. T is given to you. You have to substitute the value of S, which is already in previous case. See, the S is equal to we know that S is 2 by T into 1 minus Z raised to minus 1 upon 1 plus Z raised to minus 1. So that value you have to substitute into this H of S, and you will get H of Z, directly the transfer function, the digital transfer function. On the same line, the problem 6 will going to be solved. So the same thing, first you will going to find out the pre-warping frequencies, ohm P, ohm S, then order of filter, then actual cutoff frequency, then HA of S, transfer function, and then by converting the HA of S into H of Z by substituting the value of Z, S in terms of Z, you will get H of Z. So this is the procedure to design the digital analog filter into the digital filter by using bilinear transformation method. This is the magnitude response, which is a smooth as compared to the impulse variance method. No aliasing will going to be occur in BLT. That is the important thing. The frequency band transformation is similar to that of bilinear transformation, but now the mapping is performed only in the Z plane, and where Z0 raised to minus 1 is 2 into Z raised to minus 1. So where Z0 and Z correspond to the low pass and resultant filter respectively, and T denotes the transformation operator. To ensure the transform filter to stable and causal, the unit circle and inside of the Z0 plane should map into those of the S plane respectively. See that this table will give you the filter type and transformation operator and design parameters, which is important for low pass, high pass and band pass filter. Band stop filter, this is frequency to frequency transformation, it is nothing but. So the problem 7, that gives you the idea related to that, how the cutoff frequency and it is calculated, and how the low pass to high pass transformation can be possible, that is given in this particular PPT. So the magnitude response and base response per high pass filter is shown in. Initially we had designed low pass, and by using transformation method we are transform it from low pass to high pass.